Hello, everyone. Welcome to Thursday Night Live with Barb. I'm Barb Mullican with barbstamps.com, and I'm in Sheridan, Wyoming, where it is a beautiful sunny day today, about 83 degrees. So we are loving life here. We had a couple of days of some kind of crappy weather, rain, whatever, which I'm sure a lot of you have experienced that. But today it's a very nice 83 degrees, and so I'm happy about that. It should be a nice, I think, weekend for us also. I don't think it's going to be too hot, maybe, 85-ish, which I'm sure is
Through
warm.
hymns,
Oh,
hundreds of thousands of guys found
goodness,
help.
goodness, 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 goodness. I did not need that to be happening. I've been using my iPad sometimes when my husband's on the night shift now, and so I watch TV sometimes while I'm down here working, and I'll have my iPad just kind of off to the side. Typically, I watch something that I've watched before, so I don't have to pay that much attention to what's going on. You know what I mean? If it's something I haven't watched before, then I can't watch it and work at the same time. But if it's something I have watched before, then I can watch and work at the same time. So I'm watching a very stupid show called Love Island. Some of you may have heard about it. The season this summer season just got over, but I was rewatching a couple years ago season that I've already seen, just because, like I said, I don't have to pay too close of attention. So I typically will watch stupid stuff like that that's very mindless to not have to pay too much attention to. Anyways, all that to say why my iPad was making sound, because I had my iPad turned up. So anyway, that's like a little guilty pleasure stupid show for me. My husband will not watch stuff like that. He's like, I am not watching that garbage. And they're pretty ridiculous, honestly, those reality love shows, but I just love watching them for some reason. I just find it hilarious. Um, just I just find it hilarious. So anyways, Lost. Oh my gosh. I've never seen the show Lost, Wendy. I heard it was kind of weird and creepy, and I don't like weird, creepy stuff. So I try to stay away from that kind of stuff. So, um, I don't know. Sherry says she loves reality TV. Well, if you're into dating shows, Sherry, there's a lot of them out there, and Love Island is probably, I don't know, one of the best, I guess. I've watched Love is Blind. I've seen Temptation Island. I've seen Perfect Match. I've seen Too Hot to Handle. Thumbs down. That show is so bad. Um, yeah, my daughter likes watching them too. So a lot of times when we're together, like last summer, we watched the Love Island season 6 last summer, and we were quite invested in it. And so there you go. So, anyways, yeah, my husband's not into that at all. He's been watching the show Chips. I'm sure some of you that are of a certain age will remember the TV show Chips, that hunky Eric Estrada. Um, he's watching that. It's on Amazon, and since we have Prime, I think I can get it without commercials for an extra like $3 a month, which to not have commercials is definitely worth $3 a month. Oh, 90 Day Fiance, Wendy. Now that's interesting. I have not seen that one. I am going to have to add that to my list of reality trash TV shows to watch. And you said Lost wasn't creepy. Okay, for some reason I thought it was creepy, and I don't know why I thought that. Somebody must have told me that, and so I never watched it. Maybe I can get my husband to watch it, because it's one of those shows that's got a lot of episodes, and we like shows that have a lot of episodes. Then you kind of get invested with the characters and that kind of thing. So I'll have to mention Lost to him and see what he thinks. So there you go. Let's see what else is going on around here. Not a whole lot. Like I said, my husband, he's working nights, so he sleeps till like noon. And then he goes to work at 4. So I don't really see him that often when he's working. Then he comes home fairly late at night for his dinner break. Um, and then we chit chat for, I don't know, half an hour or so, and then I need to go to bed because I'm kind of an early riser, so I can't be staying up till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and then getting up at 6. So I usually go to bed around midnight and try to get up around 6. So anywho, while he's working the night shift, I don't see him that much. But he will be off tomorrow and Saturday, and so I will see him all those days. So that's good. Last week we babysat my son's doggy. He was here for the weekend. My son was working, and we had the Wild Rodeo was in town, and that is very, very busy. And he also wanted to attend the rodeo and then the concerts afterwards. So he's when he goes to those concerts, he stays out pretty late. So because my husband's work schedule and sleeping and everything, he slept at a friend's house so that he wouldn't come in and bother us late at night. So we had the dog, which was actually really fun. The dog is getting very much calmed down. He used to be such a freak. We'd bring him in the house and he just want to play, 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 play all the time. Even when I'm trying to sit in my chair and relax, he's trying to bring me his ball and have me throw it. And oh, good Lord. But he's mellowed out some. And also I've stopped bringing toys out because if there's no toy to play with, then there's no toy to play with. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of funny. Sherry says we heated the house with an earth stove, so that was even more funny because the heater was not coming through the vent. Oh gosh. Her son used to get up early when he was very young and turn on chips and laid over the heat vent to stay warm. Yeah, we did that too, Sherry. When we were kids, we'd put a blanket over us over the heat vent. Oh my gosh, I am having like a serious hot flash. Pardon me while I take off my sweater. Normally it's freezing cold down here, but when I decide to go live, for some reason, the live just gets my blood pumping and gives me a hot flash every single time. Or maybe the sweater is just too much. You can't have sweaters on. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I can totally understand the laying over the heat vents. We used to do that too when we were kids. Good times. Good times. So we had his dog for the weekend, and then now we don't have the dog. So it's been a pretty uneventful week for me. I've just kind of worked and, made my husband his dinner and whatnot. I did watch a number of the videos yesterday. Stampin' Up's doing their virtual album retreat. Many of you are aware of that. Many of you probably have the stuff, and many of you are probably watching the videos. I did watch a number of the videos yesterday. I kind of wanted to watch the videos through, I didn't want to try to craft along with what they were doing because I kind of wanted to be able to listen to their tips and tricks while they were doing it so that when I go back and do mine, I'm hoping to get started on it this weekend. So that when I go back to do mine, then I will have a little bit of the tips and tricks in my brain. And then I can kind of watch those videos again if I need help, you know what I mean? Because they do have the instructions are posted on their Facebook group, and then they have full color photos of everything. And so, I'm a fairly savvy stamper. I've been stamping for a long time. Not that I'm a huge scrapbooker, but they kind of go hand in hand. So I kind of want to watch the videos first, and then I'll grab my stuff and then I'll do it. So I was able to watch not like every single bit of every one of them because I do have other things to do, but I did get a chance to watch a little bit of, I think there was 3 presentations yesterday, and I did get a chance to watch a little bit of all of them. And then I will do the same thing after we're done tonight. I plan to, go have my dinner. And then since my husband's working, I have a number of hours to kind of pay attention to what they're doing on that as well, so that I can kind of get ready and hopefully jump into that this weekend and see if I can get some of those pages done. I'm really excited. So yeah. Oh, Bonnie said she just finished my floral impressions class. Beautiful cards. Thank you so much, Bonnie. I was going to talk about that tonight. I have one kit left. If anybody is interested in the floral impressions kit, I have one left. The link to get it is in the description of this video, if you're interested in that. So thanks, Bonnie. Appreciate the plug. All right. Let's see if we have anything in the comments, anything exciting. Is there any crazy weather going on right now? I know we've had some flooding in some places, and some heat in some places. But I'm kind of hoping that, now the weather's kind of calming down a little bit and it's not so crazy for all of us. You guys are aware that we had, big fires on the mountains last summer that devastated a lot of the mountain. Well, we had some pretty heavy rain the other night. And of course, since there's no trees to block the runoff, there was some rock slides over the roads that go through the mountains. So there were some closed roads with water pouring down over the road and everything. So they were able to, of course, the rain stopped and everything. So they did get that done. And let's see. Yes, Terry, I did. You are quite a ways away from me. So when I get done tonight, if you want to send me an email, Terry, to remind me to check, I will check the tracking and I will let you know when it's supposed to arrive. Okay. So let me know. So yes, I don't owe anybody any two-tone cardstock. All the cardstocks are gone. I've got some more in. I've got them all packaged up. They're ready to go. So if anybody's still interested in getting a sampling of two-tone cardstock, I'm pretty sure I still have a link in the description of the video here for you to get it. I have 2 different options for you, and they are ready to go. So there you go. Okay, what else? Oh, Joanne says they do have some heavy thunderstorms there in Kentucky. So is there also flooding going on there, Joanne? I hope not. Maria has made a live. Yay, thanks, Maria. She is from Indiana. I've been through Indiana one time. What else do we have here? Anything? Linda says it's very hot and humid in Northeast Connecticut. My mother was born in Hartford, Linda. I don't know how big Connecticut is or where you are in relation to that, but my mother was born in Hartford. What else do we have in there? I think that is about that. So, oh, Wendy's loving card ideas using two-tone cardstock. It's really a fun product. Like I've said, I mean, I've had a lot of fun with it. I've done a couple of videos on it. I've got a couple blog posts about it, and it's a really fun product to use. Now, like I said, before, it's not a cardstock I'm going to use every single day, and I'm not going to put it on every single card I have. But I'm finding more and more uses for it. Like when I'm doing something with a card, I'm like, oh, I could put two-tone cardstock on that. It's really fun. So I'm getting it. Carol says she's 20 minutes from Hartford. I have never been there. When my mom was about 6 years old, her family moved across the country to Denver. And that is where she grew up, and that is where she met my dad and where I was born and all that good stuff. So I think she went back there once after they moved when she was an adult. She went back the year that I got married, actually, to visit her niece and nephew that live out there still. And so she was that was a good thing that she was able to go back there. I was pretty happy about that. So we had to wait for her to get back from her trip before we could get married. We got married. This is just a totally off task kind of thing, but we got married very quickly. My husband asked me to marry him in August, the beginning of August, and we got married in the end of August. And at the time, a lot of people were speculating that I was pregnant. Which one would speculate that when you get married that quickly, but I was not. I just didn't want to wait. I didn't want to get married in the winter, and I did not want to wait another whole year. We'd already been dating for 4 years. I was like, let's just wrap this up. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to get married in the winter, and I did not want to wait until the next spring or summer to get married. So I said, let's just get after it. And it actually wasn't too bad. I mean, things came together very quickly. I didn't have to stress about it for months and months and months, which I mean, probably it's not really stressful. It's probably very exciting. But I'm kind of an instant gratification kind of person. And so I was very happy to just get that done. And so we just had to wait for her to get back so that we could do the wedding, of course, when she was here. So that was kind of funny. So we're going to be coming up on our anniversary here at the end of August. So that's pretty exciting. Maria says two-tone cardstock sounds wonderful. You should, Maria. And after we're done being live tonight, if you want to go to my channel, I have a live that I did. When did I do it? I think I did it sometime in June, and it will say two-tone cardstock ideas on the video or something like that. So you can watch that video and you can get lots of other ideas for some two-tone cardstock because it is really cool. Linda says she thinks I was smart. I mean, it worked out really well for me. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. Yeah, I think we threw the whole thing together in like 3 weeks. It wasn't a huge ordeal. I mean, we didn't have, millions of people come and all that kind of stuff. And it worked out good. Would I want my daughter to do that? I don't know. I feel like now that I'm a mom and looking at her as my daughter, I feel like I would like to embrace the process with her. So I don't know as though I would want it to be happening in 3 weeks. I think it would be fun for us to go shopping for a dress. I mean, I wore my mom's wedding dress, so I didn't have to worry about getting a dress. But I would love to go shopping with a dress for her and, shopping for the flowers, shopping for the venue. I just think all that would be really fun. So as a mom, I wouldn't want her to get married that quickly because I would like to have that time to spend with her and have all the fun of getting it all ready. But that probably isn't happening anytime soon because she has no prospects right now. She's just all career. So good for her. All right. What else do we have here? Anything exciting? Sherry says they were engaged 2 months after their first date and married 2 months later. Oh my gosh, that is amazing. And they'll be married 40 years in January. That is amazing. My husband was on the seriously long dating plan. I had to literally tell him, the phrase poop or get off the pot. I kind of had to tell him that after 4 years. I'm like, okay, what are we doing here? We've been together for 4 years. We don't live together. I kind of feel like after 4 years, I'm ready. I know that you're the one for me. I feel like you should know that after 4 years. So this is the ultimatum. Do it or we're done. It sounds kind of mean, doesn't it? But that's what I said. And so then he did. I figured I'd waited long enough, you know? So yeah, so we were together 4 years before we were married, and we will be married. I can't do math. 2025, 27 years in next month. So yeah, so we've been together 31 years. So I've been with him now longer than I was not with him. Yeah. So there we go. Yeah, you go, Barb. I know. And I feel like he told me later after the fact that he had talked to his brother and he's like, oh man, she just gave me this ultimatum, you know? And his brother was like, well, do you love her? And he's like, well, yeah. And he's like, well, then what's the problem? Ask her to marry you already. So he did, and here we are. But I digress. Anyway, I don't know if I have anything else that's worthy of discussing, you know, with this lovely face-to-face conversation that we have going on here. Because my life is boring. Knock on wood or whatever, something, you know what I'm saying? My life is not that exciting, which I guess is good. You know, I get up, I do my workout, I eat my breakfast, I work, get my husband up, get him off to work some more, eat some dinner, work some more, see him and go to bed. So it's fairly uneventful, which is a good thing. Although I will be going down to Denver next month to help my daughter move into her apartment. And I'm actually really excited about that because we're going to get to go shopping for things like maybe a new couch and maybe some wall hangings or, you know, just who knows what she needs because we've just got everything that she doesn't have with her in her apartment now because when she moved into the apartment she's in now, there was 2 guys that she moved in with and they had lots of things already. So, I mean, like all of her kitchen stuff we pretty much brought back here. So we've been storing it now for like a year for her. And then there's some other things that we have here. So it'll be exciting to, you know, like unpack all the stuff. It's almost like Christmas, you know, you kind of forget the stuff that you have. So that should be fun. And then we can do some shopping and hanging out. I'm really excited. Okay. Anyway, I think I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera so we can get down to business here and get some cards made. And yeah, and then if I think of any more exciting stories, then I'll certainly let you know. But that is kind of a funny story about me giving my husband the ultimatum. We do kind of chuckle about that every so often. Usually when our anniversary is coming around and we're like, oh yeah, we've been married for blah, blah years. We could have been married for more years, but you were on the, you know, significantly long dating plan. Forgot to get my buckets over here. Okay. So I have some happy mail to share with you and of course some business things. So we'll go ahead and start out talking about our bingo for Stamp Happy Academy is coming up next month. So it's going to be on August the 20th, which is a Wednesday, I believe. Yeah, because it's the week after our Stamp Happy party, which will be on the 13th. So for bingo, anybody who's in Stamp Happy Academy can watch the bingo for free. If you want to play bingo, we have a make and take packet that qualifies you to play, but we will not be broadcasting the thing for the public. So in order to, if you're not a part of Stamp Happy Academy, then in order to even watch it, you do need to purchase a make and take packet. And of course, the make and take packet allows you to play bingo for prizes. So we're going to play 6 games of bingo. We'll have prizes for each one. And then if we can get 75 registrations, we're going to throw in an extra bundle that we're going to give away. So share that all with your friends, if you wouldn't mind. I believe I have a link to register in the description of this video if you have not yet already. The cost is, I think it's $49, if I remember right. We're using the Painterly Pears suite of products. So we've got the bundle and the paper and the gems and the ribbon. And then we're also using the Label Me Grateful. So you can add these 2 on if you don't have them. And then in your packet, you're going to get the cardstock to make the 6 cards. And then we're going to give you some paper, the gems and the ribbon. And so all that is in the description of this video. All right. And our class for the month of July. I'm forgetting what month we're in. In fact, my birthday's coming up, so that's why July is kind of a fun month for me. My birthday's on Monday. I'm going to be 59 for the first time. I plan on being 59 again next year, so this is 59-1. Next year will be 59-2. Anyway, so we are using the Charming Day bundle for our class in July, and we've got the cards all finalized and they're gorgeous, but I mean, how can they not be? Just look at this beautiful rose stamp set and this beautiful paper and all these fun dies. And so we're taking registrations. The class is going to ship the last week of the month, so you can register in the description of the video if you'd like. You can add the bundle on if you don't have it, of course. Floral Impressions class. We were just talking about that a little bit ago, and Bonnie said she'd finished hers up and had the cards were beautiful. So I have one of these left. If you go to register and the registration says it's full, then somebody got it already. I have one of these left. I also have one of the Everyday Arches online classes left. That is in the description of this video also. I have one Thankful Garden class that I have left. This also creates 6 cards with envelopes and a box to put them in. I have one of these left, links in the description. And then I have one of these heart-shaped classes to go left. I don't have the bundle. This was something that could be earned during celebration that was in January and February. But I have the kit and all the papers and everything that go with it. And I do have one of those left as well. So all those are in the description of this video. Stamp Happy Party, we touched a little bit on that. The second Wednesday of every month, we have the Stamp Happy Party where the 3 of us get together on a live and we create 3 cards based on the same layout or fun fold or something. And you guys know when the 3 of us are together, there's nothing but shenanigans and fun. And so that's coming up on August the 13th. I see you people laughing. Let's see what's going on in the comments here. Oops, I need to scroll down. Let's see. Oh, you're talking about being 59-1. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kim is here from Northern Ireland. Hello, Kim. And Wendy's celebrating, so she's 59-9 is what's going on here. I love that. Let's see. So if you order in my online store in the month of July, any order you place, I will gift you with the Turtly Cute PDF. If your order is over $50, or if it's over $35, you get an invite to the Stamp Happy Party. If it's over $50, you also get the tutorial bundle that uses the beautiful gallery, a bundle or products. And then what? That's it. Stamp Happy Academy, we've talked about that. That's your Stamp Happy Party is free. Bingo watching is free. We have 3 live classes every month. Each one of us does a live class every month. We have a library with, oh my gosh, I think we have over 150 of these live classes on the website right now. So you can watch them at your leisure. We also have photos of all the projects that we've made in all of these classes on the website. And then we also have we have tons of class project files that we have been doing over the past 4 years. There's probably 150 of those also on there. And it's only $20 a month. So you really can't go wrong with it. And some of you are commenting about how amazing it is. Thank you. I talked a little bit about the virtual album retreat. This is a very awful printout copy of some of the layouts. So I am pretty excited. Like I said, I've been watching the videos and it's been fun to watch and see how they put these things together and some of the tips and tricks that they're sharing. I've been enjoying that. So they still have kits left if anyone's interested. You can go to my online store and search for virtual album and it'll pop up and you can buy it. And if you buy it from me, I'd be super grateful. And it would help me get to my $1 million in sales because I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer. It's probably not going to happen for a few months, but every little bit helps. You know, that's all I can say. So if you find it in your heart to order from me, I would greatly appreciate it. Okay, here's something you could order. You might remember last year we had this kit. It's called the Haunted Home Kit, and it makes this adorable little haunted house display piece for Halloween. And you might remember that it came out and it sold out immediately. I was lucky to have gotten one last year, but after it sold out, I just never got around to putting it together. So I pulled it out and I'm getting excited because I'm going to take this down to Denver with me and me and my daughter are going to put it together so she can have this cute decoration in her new apartment. I'm very excited about it. So they are back in stock. They're $18. They come shipped in this nice little box. So everything's in there that you need except for probably adhesive, I think. That's all you might need. Is there adhesive in here? I don't even remember. There's some dimensionals. And there's some tear and tape. So yeah, maybe you don't need any adhesive. We'll find out. So anyways, these are back in stock. If it was something that you wanted last year and you couldn't get it, you can get it now. So if you wanted to get it from my online store, the item code is 164376, and I would love you forever. Okay. What else? We have some happy mail. I've gotten some birthday cards, so that's exciting. Oh, Kim, you're so sweet. She says she wished she could help me get to my $1 million, and being that she's in Ireland, of course, she can't order from my online store since I'm in the U.S. This is from Debbie. Debbie's one of my customers, and I appreciate any cards I get in the mail. And so she sent me this cute card with this little kitty cat, and this is on a wobble, I believe that is. Yes. So it kind of moves around a little bit, which is fun. And she used some really nice of our old papers, but it's just fantastic. I love it. So thank you very much, Debbie. This is from Dolly. Dolly's got a fun fold going on here. Love that so much. Thank you, Dolly. That's really cool. I'm going to have to figure out how to make that because that's pretty dang cool. So thank you, Dolly. I appreciate that very much. Using that gorgeous lavender paper. What else do we have? I have a card from Mary Stroman. Thank you so much, Mary. Look at that fun. She had used those little birds and dragonflies on that card. So that's really fun. This was that beautiful celebration paper that we had back in January and February. Look what Sherry sent me. Sherry's on here tonight, and I just had to give Sherry a shout out. Look how cute these are. These are some dish towels. And I am a person that does not have any sort of a color theme in my kitchen because I like lots of different things. And so I don't want what I like to clash in my kitchen. So nothing clashes in my kitchen. And when I opened this yesterday, I was so giddy. I love these colors together. It's just fun. Noreen says it's called a fan card. Okay, I'm going to remember that. And then look at that. She sent me a birthday card that matches my towels. How nice is that? So, Sherry, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And I was very excited to get these. And they're going to look fantastic in my kitchen. So I had to show them to everybody first before I can take them upstairs. So now I can take them upstairs. Okay, and then I have this card this is from Julie. And Julie purchased some two-tone cardstock from me, and she sent me a thank you card for it. How crazy is that? Julie, I should be thanking you for purchasing that from me. So thank you so much. And I love this layout of the pieces of designer series paper, like a ladder style. I just think that's amazing. And then this fun embossing, and then those cute little gems. And then look at that, a coordinating envelope. How fun is that? So thank you, Julie. What is this? Oh, this was a gal who reached out to me. What was her name? Oh, I can't remember. Sue. Her name was Sue. And I believe it was her mother or mother-in-law was celebrating a milestone birthday, like 100 years old or something like that. And she asked if I'd be willing to send her a card. And I absolutely. And so I sent it to her. And she sent me this cute little card. Look what she made this with the Arches dies. Look how cute that is. It's a little popsicle. So I thought that was really cute. So thank you, Sue. Appreciate that. What else do we have here? I have this card from Barbara. Great name, by the way, Barbara. Another birthday card. So thank you so much. I appreciate that. Love the use of black with the peach pie. It's just fantastic. So thank you very much, Barbara. Appreciate that. And then finally, I have a card here from Debbie. And Debbie also used the Arches. And I believe this is one of the Memories and More cards. So love those cards. The designs on those cards is just awesome. You can use them like designer series paper if you're not into memory keeping with them. And I love the Arched Wishes set. So that is all. So thank you guys. Appreciate that so much. Okay, what do I want to do first? I think I'm going to pull this in. Some of you may remember this set from our holiday catalog. And it's called More Than Autumn. And it is a $1 million set by my friend Joe Golden. So I'm also excited that I'm going to get to design a stamp set. What would I design? I have no idea. So I need to think about that. Anywho, I digress. So we're going to be using this tonight. And we're going to be making it not a Christmas or fall card, but a fun, bright, happy card that uses gorgeous grape and white and melon mambo and pumpkin pie. And so what we're going to do with this, I need to get my trimmer. I don't know what this kind of card is called, but basically what you do is you kind of somehow decorate a little section of the white layer, and then you put these two pieces on with dimensionals. You pop these up on dimensionals so that they're a little bit raised up, and then you have this kind of recessed panel in here that's colored with whatever designer series paper, stamping, whatever you want to do. So I wanted to use bright, happy, fun colors, and I'm going to use the donut because, of course, donuts go with bright, happy, fun colors. So my layer of white is 4 by 5 1/4. And my 2 pieces of melon mambo, this one is 1 by 5 1/4, and this one is 2. So obviously when I put them on there, I'm putting this on 1 inch from this edge, and this one's going to be 2 inches from this edge. So in order for me to gauge where I need to put my donuts, I tried using a pencil. So I made some pencil lines, like I put these on here, and I made some pencil lines. And then I colored them with my blends. And then when I went to erase the pencil lines, you could still kind of see them, like the coloring prevented me from erasing the pencil lines. And so I thought, okay, well, that's not going to work. So I got to do something else. So I'm going to make some score lines instead. But I don't want the score lines exactly where these 2 pieces come in. I want them to be a little farther, like a little farther that way and a little farther that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, and since my piece is 1 inch, I'm going to put this at 3/4 of an inch, and then I'm going to score that. Okay. And I'm going to turn it around, and my paper is 2 inches, so I'm going to score it at 1 3/4. So that way, is that right? Yeah, that's right. So then I know that I have this area here between my 2 score lines is where I need to do my stamping. So that's going to be helpful. All right, so this is a photopolymer stamp. So I am going to bring in a foam pad and a scratch paper. And so here's my donut, and I've got my memento here because I'm going to color these in. And so I'm just going to kind of start by stamping a donut kind of right in the middle of those 2 lines. And then I'm going to come up here and then kind of come in from the sides. So I'm sure you guys might not be able to see my score lines here, but I can see them. And so I'm just kind of going down the card now, adding my donuts, but I am making sure that, you know, they are all within the confines of the scoring. So now we can cover that or close that up, put the donut away. And now we're going to get some blends. And so we don't have gorgeous grape blends, but the dark Highland Heather is pretty darn close. So I've got a dark Highland Heather, I've got a light pumpkin pie, and then I have a light melon mambo. And so I'm just going to start coloring my donuts. So let me start with, I'm going to start with my purple here. Now I'm not going to color all the donuts just because I've got a piece over here on the side that I already did it with, but I'll just kind of show you a little bit, you know, how I did it, whatever. Obviously you could probably kind of figure it out that you just kind of want to stagger the colors of the donuts, and I'm doing the donut frosting. I'm going to do all of the colors. And then I'm going to come back in and then do, like, you know, the donut that's underneath. And you know me, I don't believe in needing to color things their real color. I feel like I can color things anything I want. If I have a bird and I need it to be pink, it's going to be pink if that's what goes with my color palette. That's just how it is. So now this donut here kind of goes over my score line. Well, I know that I don't need to go any farther than my score line when I'm coloring in this donut, because nobody's going to be able to see that. So I only need to go to the score line. And I mean, I guess if you want to color the whole donut, you absolutely can, but you don't need to because no one's going to know. And then I guess that's just a waste of your blends ink. If if you're worried about that at all, then you wouldn't have to worry about it. Okay, so then we're going to bring in some pink. So this is our melon mambo. Again, here's my score line right there, so I don't need to go any farther than that. So we'll just get this. And of course, when I'm live, I can't see as well to do my coloring, and so sometimes I go out of the lines. So pretend that I didn't go out of the lines on the last donut. Because normally I can like be directly over top of what I'm coloring, but when I'm live, I'm kind of looking at it from the side rather than, you know, coming directly over the top. So it's a little more difficult that way. Okay, and then over on this side, again, there's my score line, so I don't need to go any farther than that. All right, and then we'll bring in our pumpkin pie. Same thing over here. There's my score line, so I don't need to go any farther. And my score line's right there too. So that's kind of helpful to know, you know, how far you have to go. I mean, maybe you like coloring and you want to color the whole donut, and then you absolutely should. But it's not necessary. Okay, so then pretend we have all the donuts done. So then I would take my orange and I would go around the outside of the donut that's pink. So this is like the actual donut itself, which is under the frosting. And again, I'm only doing what I need to. And then I have the Melon Mambo is going to be the color of the donut under the purple frosting. Now this donut obviously is right in the middle of all of the scoring, so we have to do the whole thing. But this one down here is not, again, so we don't need to do the whole thing. We can just do as much up to that score line. And then, of course, the purple will be on the orange donuts. And we'll get that. And then I would take and do the insides of the donuts. And so I would do the inside of the pink donut here with my purple marker so that I have all three colors on that donut. So pink is going to go in here with the orange. And then the orange is going to go on the inside of the purple. Okay, so I already have one that's done. So here's the one that I've already got done. And again, I didn't go past the score lines at all. No problem there. So then what you do is you take your these two pieces, and we're going to put dimensionals on them, and we're going to kind of pop them up. So then like we have like a little bit of a recessed track in there. And so I would put, more dimensionals than I normally would on something like this, just because I don't want it to sag. So I would come down and I would add a few more than I normally would. And then on this piece here, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put a few more than I probably normally would. We're going to have to end up cutting the edges off this, which is totally fine. And where's some scissors? So I like to just, after I get all the dimensionals out of the middle, I just kind of go around and cut through all of these. And then we have a whole bunch more dimensionals to use. And then down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to kind of press my fingernail into all of those dimensional backings, peel all of them off. And that really does help get the dimensionals off if you can press your fingernail into them a little bit. It really does help get them off. And so I do that all the time. It kind of lifts the paper backing off of the foam for you. Okay, and so here, this is our 1-inch side. So we're just going to line it up, both ends and this long edge here. So I'm just going to kind of hold it into place. And I'm just kind of gently pressing it down. And now if you wanted to do some stamping or emboss these, you absolutely can. I just chose to leave them blank. And now we'll put this piece on, doing that same thing, starting kind of at the bottom here. And then just following along the edge. And there we go. And so then you have like a little recessed track in there, which is kind of fun. Okay, so then I need a scrap of white because I need a label. And this is a label, and I don't remember what it's called. It went with the stamp set that's retired now, but they kept the label punch. Label Me Lovely or something like that. Is that what it is? I don't remember. But this is what it looks like. I'm sure a lot of you probably already have it. And so we're going to do a little stamping on this piece. So we're going to say, love you more than donuts. And so I'm going to stamp the word donuts in pumpkin pie. And I'm going to stamp it kind of down at the bottom. Actually, I'm going to put this on, not on white paper, so that I can actually kind of see through the stamp and see where I need to stitch this. Label Me Lovely. Oh, I got it right. Who knew? Thank you. Someone else has a birthday coming up. Who is that? Oh, Sharon. Happy birthday to you. Sharon is out her birthday on the same day as me. It's a great day to be born, Sharon. Okay, and then I have Highland Heather, because it's fairly dark as well. And I am going to labeled with love. Okay, thank you, Dolly. So we're going to separate this out. We're going to stamp the love you and then more than underneath it. So you can mask it if you want. You can take Scotch tape and cover up the more than, and then you can ink that up, remove the tape and put it down. But because I can see through this stamp and I can see the edge of my ink pad, I don't need to mask this off. So I'm stamping the love you, and we're going to put that about right there. Ugh, it's kind of crooked. We're just going to have to go with it. I wiped off my stamp on my chamois over there, and now I'm going to ink up the more than. Same thing, I can see through my stamp, so I can see that I'm going right between the words. And now we're going to say more than donuts. Okay. And the reason I did that was because I have 2 other donuts here that I want to put on the card. And so I had to have some space over here. So I stamped a donut in Memento and I colored it in, and then I die cut it. But I didn't want the hole to be gone because it looked weird if you could see those other donuts through the hole. So what I did was, after I ran it through my machine, I colored it and I die cut it. I put a piece of tape on it. You might not be able to see the tape. It might be a little bit of a glare, but there's a piece of tape on there holding that little circle in place because I want to keep it. Okay. And that way, when I put my donuts on here, then you can't see the other donuts. It just looked weird being able to see the donuts through there. So I did not like that. You don't have to do that. All right. So we need to add our label here. So I'm going to put a dimensional like right here. Let's see, where is this going to go? It's going to go something like that. So we're going to put a dimensional in there so that holds up some space. You don't have to take the backing off if you don't want to. That's just going to prevent it from sagging in to our little channel there. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of glue. And we're going to stick this on here. Like so. And then so we can just go ahead and add our donuts. So again, I can put like maybe a mini dimensional up here on the corner of this donut so that it's going to be going down into the recessed area. And then this right here, we'll just put glue on. Oops, let me get that off. And we'll just kind of put that right on the edge of the donut. And then this one here. So we'll put a mini, where's my minis? Up here kind of at the top. So that'll be up there, and then we'll put a little glue on the side here. Okay. And there we have our Love You More Than Donuts. And then we're going to attach that to our layer of Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just going to add, there's my score lines, but no one's going to see those either. And I think I just saw somebody say this card is so cute. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you, Linda. I appreciate that. So we're going to press all that down. And I had some gems. Where are they? Here they are. Nothing super exciting. I'm just going to pull out some white gems. These are the neutral matte dots. And so I'm just going to add some white. Oops. Put one there, a larger one, and we're going to get a smaller one right there, and then maybe another smaller one right down there. Okay, so then for the inside, I stamped some more donuts and colored them in the same, and then I stamped from the stamp set. They have You Are The, and then they have Is the Best. So I did You Are and The Best. So I masked them off just the same way I just did on the front, and I stamped You Are the Best. And I was quite happy with how straight I actually got these. That was, look at that. Like how straight they are, like right next to each other. I was pretty tickled with how straight they were. All right, so we'll throw that on the inside. And, whoops. Hold on. I need to do this opposite so I can get it centered top to bottom and then on the side here. There we go. Okay, so there we have our super cute donut card. Oh, I just love bright happy cards. And so, yeah, so thanks, guys. All right, let me get some of these things put away a little bit so that we don't have a giant mess here. We'll keep some of these things out because we need to keep some of them as we need to use them again, like our dimensionals, and probably the memento pad because we're using the Charming Day set next, and that requires some coloring. That and that die. Okay, I think we're good. Let me put this card aside and then we can bring it back to look at it later. And then I'll bring in my bucket for my next project. And we're going to be using, like I said, the Charming Day bundle here. This is what we're using for our online class for the month. So this is a card that's not in the class. This could kind of be a bonus card for you. And we are going to use, okay, we're going to use some smoky slate and some white and a piece of that gorgeous paper, which here are the papers. And each piece has kind of like a nice neutrally muted pattern on the back and then a gorgeous floral pattern on the front. I guess this is some gorgeous leaves, not flowers. And then the back of that is the beautiful timid tiger. And then we have this gorgeous piece here. And then the back side is just some pretty peacock. And then we have the Blackberry Bliss. And then look at those gorgeous flowers. I think those are peonies. I don't know. I'm not a flower person. I love flowers. I just don't know what they are. To coin a phrase, Wendy, I remember this from last week. I was stamping along and I had a bunch of stuff out and I said, you know, I have everything I need. I just don't know what I'm doing. That just popped into my head again. And that was like, after Wendy typed it back to me in the comments, that's just like one of the funniest things I think I've ever said. Anywho, this, for whatever reason, this reminded me of that. So this is Old Olive. And then we have these fun flowers here. Again, I don't know what they are. And then we have this Berry Burst. And then we have this beautiful pattern right here. So just gorgeous, gorgeous papers. So I'm using this piece here. I am using it on the dark side. We're going with the dark side here. And then I also have a piece of Petunia Pop that I ran through the plaster painting embossing folder. It's one of those giant folders, and one of the edges has like the, like if you when you're, you put up drywall, and then I think you put like some kind of tape on the seam, which I think is this right here. Then you put the plaster on and cover it all up. So I think this is supposed to mimic drywall tape. I don't know. So I did put the drywall tape edge on my piece of Petunia Pop here because I thought that was kind of fun. So that's my pieces in parts. These two pieces are going to get butted together. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. So I'm just going to kind of line them up. And then I'm going to Scotch tape them together because it's pretty easy to use them like this. And then, of course, you probably figured we're going to put some ribbon around that seam to kind of, you know, hide the whole thing. So if your pieces aren't evenly cut or perfectly cut, which mine appear not to be, then no one's going to see that seam anyway. So, okay, so that's going to go like that. So I need a scrap of white so that I can stamp this beautiful floral image. Here it is. Burlap or canvas. Perfect. That's what Kim said it's called. That makes even more sense. Okay. So let me get this inked up. This is, for those of you that may not understand what I have here, this is a Memento ink put into our white craft pad. So Stampin' Up! Sells a white craft pad and it comes uninked. So they give you a re-inker of white craft ink and a blank pad, and it's a foam pad. So it's just like the rest of our pads. It's nice and foam. Whereas our Memento pad is kind of a hard linen top. And so I just find I get a little bit better inking when I use a foam pad. So I bought the white craft ink. I just have the craft ink in my cupboard, and I filled this up with Memento. So I have a nice foam pad that has Memento ink in it. So there you go. Okay, so we have our beautiful flower stamps, and as I've mentioned before, I don't care what things are supposed to be because these leaves are going to be gray. So these leaves are going to be some smoky slate. And this is a light smoky slate. And so we're going to get all of the leaves, at least I think it is. Yes, it is. All of a sudden I was thinking, boy, it's looking a little darker for some reason to me than it did when I did this earlier, but it is. It's light. And lots of you are aware that I am not the world's best colorer. And so I just kind of do my best. And I lots of times will just use the detail that Stampin' Up! Puts into the stamps for any sort of highlighting that I might want to do. And so I will be doing that with these leaves and with the flower. So we'll get all these done in the light smoky slate. Come around there. Got just a few left, these little smaller ones. And then we'll get to the flower, which is going to be Petunia Pop. Okay. And I got this color combo straight off of the Color Coach. I'm pretty sure that's where I found it today. I'll have to pull it out and look again. But if I had to guess, because I was trying to think of what would go with these colors, and I at first had like green, which I think it was Old Olive. It wasn't terrible, but it just didn't look right. I mean, there was just something about it that just wasn't looking right. So then I pulled out my Color Coach, and I'm pretty sure that there was a color combo in there that used Smoky Slate as well. And so I was like, okay, yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go with some Smoky Slate instead. I find that color combo thing, that Color Coach thing, is pretty handy. And if some of you may not have it, it's on my blog. It's a free download in my blog store. So it's barbstamps.com/shop. And you might have to scroll through some pages because I can't remember when I put it up. It would probably been, well, I don't remember. But you can download it for free, and then you can print it and cut it out. So these are, I just printed these on basic white cardstock. Let me see. Where did I come up with this? Was it on the Petunia Pop? Yes. Petunia Pop, Blackberry Bliss, and Smoky Slate. Because I was kind of looking at this here, and I thought, oh, well, Petunia Pop, these three should go together fine. It just wasn't vibing for me, so I pulled this out again and went, you know what, let's try the Smoky Slate. And I really liked how the Smoky Slate looked. Okay, so now I need to bring in the dark Smoky Slate and do what I said, just kind of go over the line of the vein in the leaf that Stampin' Up! Gave us to just kind of add some detail. There we go. And then I'm going to bring in the dark Petunia Pop, and I'm going to do the same kind of thing. So like there are just a few little lines here that are just kind of stragglers that we're just going to add, and then maybe come around the edges here just a tiny bit, just to add a little bit of detail. Oh, I feel like somebody might, oh, a UPS man must be here, dropping stuff on my porch. Thank you, Mr. UPS man. Okay, so just something like that, just to add a little bit of interest, a little bit of detail. Like I said, I'm not that great at coloring, so we're just going to wing it. All right, so here is my finished die cut piece. And then here are some other die cut pieces that I cut out. So this is obviously stamped and die cut. And then this is one of the die cuts that is in the die set. So it's just a beautiful detailed flower image with some leaves. And then there's this pretty flower here that looks something like this, and it has a long stem and it has the leaves, but I didn't need the whole thing of either color, so I just kind of needed the leaves, and then I wanted the flower. Here's another gorgeous detailed rose that is in the die set. This little leafy piece is also in it, and then this foliage piece is also in it. If I can pick it up, that would be handy. This guy here. And then I got another leafy piece with Blackberry Bliss, and then another, the kind of end of that thing also. So actually this goes something like this is what it would look like. when you die cut the whole thing out. So let's push all that aside. The color combo is striking, I know. So thank you, Stampin' Up, for coming out with that. So I'm going to wrap this is the ribbon that's out of the Halloween suite right now that we just came out with, the spooky Halloween. It is the Petunia Pop, what are they actually calling this? Iridescent ribbon. It's about 1/4 of an inch, I believe, yes. And it is very iridescent. So it's the beautiful Petunia Pop iridescent, and man, it goes with other things besides Halloween, you know. So we're going to add this. This is just a strip that I had, a straggler strip that I had sitting on my desk. So we're just going to use this, and we're going to go to kind of cover up our seam. And then, so there we have that. So then we can add that to our card base when we're done. So what I decided to do with all these things was just kind of start throwing them on there and layering them. So this is upside down. I realized that, but it just seemed to work for what I wanted to do. And then I kind of wanted to throw this piece somewhere. I don't know where, if I want it underneath or if I want it on top. So I'm just kind of winging it here. We're just kind of throwing some stuff out to see what do we want to do here? Because I don't know. Do I want a flower maybe over here, kind of tucked under perhaps? Do we need some more leaves down here? I don't know. These little leaves, I thought I could cut these off of their stem. If I can pick this up again. And I don't know. Maybe just, I don't think that flower looks right. For some reason, that's not working for me. And you know, honestly, I don't think this thing is either. So hold on here. We are going to figure out something. Maybe we need some leaves over here. Maybe something like that. That I am feeling a little more than, okay, so we're going to do this. So I'm first of all going to take this piece here and I'm going to add some glue to these leaves. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that under, glue that down. This thing here, I'm just going to add some glue to the backs of these flowers a little bit. And then we'll just sort of put that down. All right. I'm going to grab a glue dot for this little piece. And maybe tuck that under that. Okay, and then this piece I'm going to add with dimensionals. So let's get some dimensionals here. Okay. Getting close to using up another sheet of dimensionals. You know, I kind of wonder, I've been a demonstrator now for 23 years. And I was a customer for maybe a year before that. I often wonder, like, how many sheets of dimensionals have I literally used over my career? You know what I mean? I can't even imagine. It would have been an interesting thing to kind of keep track of, you know, just for fun. Actually, I might not even need that. We'll see. I am going to tuck that under there, I believe. So let's get a glue dot on there. Pull that up. Something like that. Maybe we can tuck this. Well, maybe we need to cut it off. Nothing wrong with cutting them off, right? If we need, I just kind of feel like it needed a little bit something else down there. So let's just add a tiny bit of glue to these leaves. Ah, no. And then maybe just tuck that under. Okay, get that glue off there. All right, so we've got this mostly done. I did die cut a tiny little circle out of these stylish shape dies, the set that has the circles and then the squares and the banners. This is the smallest circle die that they have that is in there. And there is a word that says hey in the set. Do I want to use Blackberry Bliss? Actually, I'm going to go black, I think. Ooh, you know what? let's try basic gray. Since we're using gray on this, let's try basic gray for our sentiment. Because black is kind of harsh sometimes on some things. So let's just sort of see if maybe this basic gray is a little less in your face. Yeah, I think that'll work. And then I was just going to kind of put that right here. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see if I can pull this little guy out. And I'm going to put this on, and then I'm going to bring that out just a bit. So I'm going to put my hay here. And then I'm going to bring this so it's a little farther down. There we go. Okay. Now we need to attach this to this. I have to decide, do I want to use glue or dimensionals? I think I'm just going to go glue since I have dimensionals on the main flower image on there. So I think we're just going to go glue on this one. And since I embossed that, glue is good. Swirl it around. I got a tiny bit of glue on my finger. Got to be mindful of that. And then we'll just put this all together. Okay. Rub that glue off my hand. That is really pretty. Okay, now I need to decide what gems I want to use. And here's my inside. Just that another flower image out of the set. Colored it the same and then added the can't wait to see you again soon. So we'll put that on the inside of the card, and then we'll get some gems on the front. Figure out which ones I want to use. There's quite a few that'll work really well for this, I feel like. This one, these are berry burst, but I think they could work, but I don't know, so I want to use the same color. I've got these really sparkly silver ones. I've got these kind of flat silver ones, and then I have these gray pearls that I kind of thought might be nice since we're doing gray here. So let's kind of see what these look like. Because of course I was just going to do the old standard, and I'm just barely tacking these down because I don't want to commit. If I don't like it, then, you know, I want to be able to take it off. But I just kind of felt like that those wouldn't detract from the beautiful flower thing we've got going on here. And they wouldn't overshadow, you know, the ribbon. So I just kind of feel like the pearls were the move. So these are called Basic Gray and Smoky Slate Pearls. So perfect for this card since we're using both Basic Gray ink and Smoky Slate blends and cardstock and everything with that. Okay, let me put these away. And that, ladies and gentlemen, if there's any gentlemen watching, is my projects for this evening. So let me push all that out of the way. And I have another card that I did with this exact same layout. This is another pattern of paper from the set, as I just showed you. I did the plaid folder at the top here. This is Timid Tiger. And then I have stamped my flowers and colored them with Timid Tiger and Old Olive. And then I added some petal pink detail underneath that with that large floral image. And then I pulled out that kind of fun new petal pink ribbon. And I didn't wrap it around the ends. I just kind of let it be fringy there, which I thought was kind of fun. And then I used the same dots that I used on my first card, but I used the black ones. So that worked out pretty good. Did the same sentiment on there and everything. So there you go. Inside's basically the same. So yeah. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cards today. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, giving it a thumbs up, all that good stuff. If you're interested in some two-tone cardstock, the link is in the description. I've got it all ready to go. I can get it out of here tomorrow. What else? Oh, if you were interested in those card kits I talked about at the beginning of the class, the links are in the description. I have one of each of those left, and then they are gone. And thank you guys again for watching and hanging out with me and, you know, supporting me with your views of my videos and purchasing the cardstock. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. I can't thank you enough on my road to the millions. So hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you again next week, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.